Thank you for staying with us for our final segment. We have with us, as we promised, the president of the Belize Hotel Association, Tejada.
Morning.
No stranger to our set. And he's accompanied by a board member, Sherry Constantino.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. So the AGM is mañana.
It's mañana.
All
Yes, it's
right.
going to be tomorrow. We are all excited. We have a group of individuals coming in from all over the world to share with us what's happening in the hotel industry, in the tourism industry. And so it is exciting. It is exciting for tomorrow.
Yeah. When you talk about a gathering like this, so it's hoteliers essentially coming together and hearing from some exceptional speakers from the industry itself. How do you choose a theme? Is it all about how to make more business or how to improve the experience?
So for this particular year, the theme is revenue management. How do you maximize your revenue? For example, I'll give you an example. We have 90 rooms. In order to build another room in the country of Belize, it costs you about, put it at $100,000 per room, per unit.
One room.
Wow.
So if you were to build, let's say 10 rooms, you need $1 million. And it's going to last you another 2 years in the building phase. So I have 90 rooms. And every year, as you know, the owners want an increase in revenue. So how do you increase revenue with the same products? So at this moment, we have these individuals going to teach us, if you have 90 rooms, you have to study your occupancy, your arrivals, what's happening in the country, and take advantage of these opportunities. Instead of setting one rate and say, from January to December, $100, there's dates that you can go up, there's days that you need to come down in order to stimulate your sales.
Yeah.
And that's what these panels are going to be doing for us.
Yeah. Is that the practice in Belize already? Do you have seasonal rates?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, many of the hoteliers in the country of Belize, they have two rates. They have what they call the high season rate and the low season rate. So you have the November to March type of season, which is a beautiful weather in Belize. And then you have from May to October, which is the rainy season rate. And the rates tend to go down because as well in the United States and Europe, it's summer.
Yeah.
And people would tend to stay behind there rather than coming to Belize.
Yeah.
Isn't there a third rate though, the Belizean rate?
We also have the Belizean rate. But in this case, what we do, for example, if there's a big event happening in Belize,
Like Costa Maya.
as Costa Maya, for example, most of the rooms are, they're going to be sold 1 year in advance. So what do? It's low season. But those dates, your rate has to go up because you need to maximize your revenue.
Yeah. A lot of people don't always understand, I think, the investment that is made in maintaining the hotels. And where your competition is not just other hotels, it's Airbnbs, it's all kinds of different ways people can find a place to stay. How do you keep the industry relevant and still something that people want to go back to?
In terms of the numbers, I was actually looking, and you need to come to the AGM to look at these numbers, which is very interesting for the country of Belize. 73% of the hotels in the country of Belize are between 1 to 10 rooms. So it's a huge number. So you can even say, I was surprised yesterday when I look at the numbers of 1 room to 5 rooms is 50%. 440 hotels
So
in the
all
country of
small
Belize, there is
hotels.
from between 1 to 5. So when we say that we are against Airbnb, we're not really against, because then you're going to be against 50% of the hotels in the country of Belize.
Yeah.
But they have a different product. So what we're doing, we've been working with the Belize Tourism Board in standardizing the product.
Yeah.
So everybody is on the same playing field.
Yeah.
The bigger hotels, we all have to abide by the same rules.
Yeah.
So the Airbnbs as well have to abide by the same
Yeah.
rules. And it's the customer who gets to choose which product they would like to use.
And what are you finding over time? Because clearly cost is a part of planning a vacation. And a hotel costs more than an Airbnb. But a hotel should offer something more than an Airbnb. So, okay, if I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to make my own bed or make breakfast or whatever it is, I'll go to a hotel. Or, how do you keep that value added so that people will want to go to a hotel versus seeking out an Airbnb?
So for example, in my product, I look at the pool, which a lot of Airbnbs would not be able to have a pool. I mean, the maintenance of the pool, just to share more or less, it costs me about $3,500 a month just to maintain the cleanliness of the pool. That's not including the labor. That's just the materials that I have to put into the pool to clean it.
Yeah.
If you have an Airbnb, if you have, let's say, 3 rooms, if you're selling it at $100, it's impossible that you can make $3,000 to maintain a pool.
Yeah.
So the bigger properties have to add more amenities, such as a pool, such as a gym, a restaurant that opens up to late hours so that you can cater to those clients that say, you know what, I want to go somewhere, I have kids, I need a pool.
Yeah.
I need somewhere that they can be running and playing.
Yeah.
So it's depending
Room
on
service.
the products that you add that differentiates between an Airbnb and a hotel.
You know, one of the big differences as my family was looking at taking a vacation in Tulum. Beautiful Airbnb, very spacious, pool and everything, but security was a major issue where it was. You're talking about keeping the same standard for both the Airbnbs and the other hotels. What direction are we moving where security is surely a major, probably after the other services, security is probably the most important thing for someone who's visiting?
Yes.
How do we standardize security for everyone in the industry?
It's a topic that is right now on the table. Actually, we had a meeting with the Belize Tourism Board yesterday. The BTIA was involved or is involved together with BHA. And we are taking a serious look at the way the security for the entire country in terms of tourism. We need to see what needs to be done. I know BTB is donating 10 cameras in San Pedro, for example, where all the touristics area will be with high definition cameras. One of our recommendations was to encourage the businesses, all of them, to put cameras. And if we can all buy the same cameras BTB is supplying it, then it can go into a network. Not only that, then you cover more mileage. I mean, if you look at San Pedro, there's hotel after hotel after hotel.
Yeah.
So you're covering not only on the road side, but you're also covering on the beach side.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, perpetrators that know that there's a camera will think twice of hitting someone because they know there is surveillance taking place.
Have you seen the implications of the crime situation? Because you're Belize City-based.
Yes.
You work with Biltmore. We should probably clarify that. Have you seen the implications of the crime situation as yet?
We do.
Yeah.
We actually...
we've had, since the crime situation, especially the one recently that has happened in San Pedro, we've had several of our member hotels, send us messages, and they have been complaining that they've been having cancellations. And some of these cancellations are huge groups, which means that there's a huge decrease in income that would have come to them. And these people are canceling for vacations that they have booked in advance. We're speaking about all the way into December, and they're already canceling.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the sad things that's happening with the crime situation and how it's affecting our hoteliers.
It's got to be a very trying time for the tourism industry. I think of, and we keep on saying it each time we talk about the economy, it is our main revenue source at this point in time, which makes you an extremely integral part of our country and how it functions. But it's so sensitive. I mean, one case, Dr. Swank's case, for example, can be a turning point from a booming tourism industry to, let's look at what's happening in the Dominican Republic. And it's not because the Dominican Republic has had a major surge in crime. It's just been a number of cases that became more prominent, and now they're facing their own challenges. So you're almost walking on thin ice every single day, knowing the battle of crime and how important it is to manage the perception of what the destination is. What does the Hotel Association do to contribute? Because there's the BTB, the Ministry of Tourism, BTIA. How do you make sure that you do your part to ensure that we are being as safe as possible in maintaining this very important industry?
Yes. And as we discussed yesterday, the main role of the Belize Hotel Association is to put heads in beds. That is our main focus. We are a non-profit organization, membership driven. So all the revenue that we get from our membership, we invest it back in promoting the country. And to go to do a show, for example, in the United States, which we do 22 shows internationally, has a cost of not less than $10,000. So if you add 20 shows at $10,000, more or less you're finding out how much we are investing into marketing.
Yeah.
So every penny that we get in, we try to put it back into the website, into social marketing, into trade shows, into guides that we're doing. So when we have to now divert funds, or we have to divert our energy from marketing into protection, it becomes very hard. So we met yesterday with the Belize Tourism Board to make it clear that we do need that the government does something about this.
Yeah.
Us as the Belize Tourism Board, we need, as the Hotel Association, we need to focus on marketing because that's our job. That's what we do best. I'm not an expert in security, to be honest. I didn't study it as a career.
Yeah.
Yes, I studied marketing. I know how to market. And so we need the government of Belize, the police department, to take over what they've done, what with the security and that ministry, and say, hey, that's what we do. That is our profession. That is what we studied. Bringing the experts, yes, to deal with that problem, because me and you and Sherry would be sitting here trying to brainstorm all day.
And it's not our area of expertise.
It's not our areas of expertise. So we want to contribute, like I said, maybe in putting cameras where it's needed, or let them tell us, this is what you guys need to do to help us curb the crime.
What's the biggest challenge to maintaining a hotel in Belize currently?
It all depends where you are.
Okay.
Because not only have we been affected recently by the crime, but sargassum is another issue that is affecting our properties on the islands, on Placencia. It's not only Belize, it's affecting the entire region, Mexico, the entire Caribbean. And the Europeans, I was there 2 weeks ago, they don't want to come to a beach that has sargassum. And so there's so many challenges at this moment that is affecting the tourism industry, such as the sargassum, such as the crime, that at this moment we have to dig deep. And
so before, where you're competing with other destinations and then internally with other hotels to get business, you have to compete based on having people overlook sargassum and the perceptions of crime that they have.
That's correct. That's correct.
And how will this help with revenue management?
You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how low and how high is your business. Revenue management still plays a factor. Because not only that, let me share with you that these people that will be coming will be sharing with us that the way that customers buy in the Belize has changed. At one point in time, it was a destination where you had to buy 90 days in advance to get a room because of the size of the destination. So you wanted to come to Belize, you had to buy 90 days in advance. But with technology and with these special alerts that Expedia and Travel Booking.com have, you log in and they will tell you when there's a special in this destination. It has curved down to 30 days. So when you, Kevin, have a hotel and you were selling your room 90 days in advance, you know, oh man, we're going to have a great August. Suddenly, you're in July and you look at your August and say, man, this doesn't look good. There's a panic mode. And then people tend to bring down their prices. So when you look at the statistics, it says that we have an increase of 6.8% in tourism or occupancy. But you look at your revenue, it's less money.
That's true.
And then you say, but geez, I sold more for less. What happened? Because there was a panic mode. So these people have the technology to show us, listen, just wait. There's a trend. You will see the customer behavior. Study the customer behavior before you change your price.
Have we been able to, though, understand the trends in Belize? Because where it's a growing industry, and the reasons people come to Belize are so many different reasons. What do we know of the trend of a typical foreign visitor to Belize?
Again, I love looking at statistics. It gives me a nice story, and I spent a lot of time reading this last night. and this was on the news last week. If you look at the statistics of Belize, the income that the report that they took out, there's one slide there that shows that there has been an increase of 6.8% or $6.8 million in the tourism industry in the first quarter of this year.
Yes.
So that's January, February, March, up to April. But if you look at the room revenue, it is below with the increase in revenue. So I called the Statistics Institute and said, what does that mean? He said, oh, this means that there's a lot of people staying at Airbnb. So they're choosing to stay at a cheaper place, but they're coming. So there's more people coming, but you have the backpackers that say, you know what, I'll stay here for less.
Yeah.
So we are looking at all these trends and seeing, I mean, for yourself, for example, if you would like to invest, do I want to invest in a luxurious hotel, or do I invest in a 5-10 room property and sell it and make money out of it?
Yeah.
This year you seem to have divided up the revenue theme this year into 3 aspects: marketing, sales, and law. Could you tell us generally how each of these speakers will approach that topic, so we know what to expect at the AGM?
We're bringing Mr. Raphael Sal. Raphael Sal, I met him at a conference here in Belize. He's from Barbados. He really impressed me. He practices legal practices, but at the end of the day, he's a motivational speaker. And at the end of the day, all of us need some type of motivation. When you're hit with sarcasm, when you're hit with crime, when you're hit with all of these things, sometimes you go down into a little shell. You know, I am sure that Mr. Sal is going to take you out of that shell and is going to tell us something that we need to do, or why we need to do that in order to make more money. Ms. Vivian is going to be speaking about the technology. They study like Facebook, for example. No? When you actually look at something on Google, you would be surprised. You go to your Facebook, and suddenly that product that you were looking on Google is presented to you in Facebook. And you go like, you might not realize that at first.
Yeah.
I was looking just over the weekend, I was looking at chairs because we just expanded the restaurant. So I was looking at different websites on chairs.
Everywhere you go, you see chairs now.
And suddenly I'm going to Facebook, I see chairs all over. I said, but man, I'm not going here in Facebook to buy chairs. But that is what their technology do.
Yeah.
They track you.
They're trackers.
They know what you do. They know your behavior, and they present you those products right in front of you to buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
then
thought it was just cookies.
No, and sometimes they're listening to conversations too. That's a different story. But can we say how proud we are that one of the speakers is a Belizean who's working with an international agency?
Definite. Minor had worked at BTV for several years in the digital area. He migrated to Expedia, and I have a coffee with this gentleman at least once a month. I just now like to pick his brains because he has access to so much data. And I cannot wait to hear what he has to share about the data he's seen at Expedia. How can that data help us? Like I said, it's all about the trends. You want to maximize your sales, you need to look at data. And Manny Melendez is not coming, but they're sending a replacement. Melissa is going to be here. Unfortunately, Manny had some medical complications, and so he's not going to be coming. He cannot travel out of the country. But Melissa, who works for Travel Click, will be here. And again, that is another area of expertise. It's about data. It's all driven by data, and it is important. I always say, data is knowledge. If you have the data in your hands. So for example, this company can tell you the entire country of Belize. They can tell you all the companies that are buying the country of Belize. So you can pay. So for example, and I'll just say it, and I'm sorry, but I can say, okay, what is the Radisson getting? What type of business is the Radisson getting? Who's buying from the Radisson? They can pinpoint me exactly the people that are buying.
The demographic.
Not the demographic, the name of the company and the number of rooms and the revenue that company is generating for the Radisson and sell it to me. Yes, that is how that company works. They have what they call the Global Distribution System, the GDS. So all the airlines, all the travel agents, tour operators, they just type hotel in Belize. You know, the hotels come in. and they buy it from the GDS, the Global Distribution System. So these companies own these systems, so they know what are the business going in different areas, and then they resell.
You seem very excited about the technology aspect.
I do.
Yeah.
What new opportunities, apart from the ones that you've already mentioned, do you think it offers for Belize to try to increase our revenue?
In terms of the tourism union?
Yes.
I think we have to unite with the tour guides. Many of the hotels, we're just selling hotels. We're just selling hotel rooms. We haven't sat down, how do we package together the tours? So when the tourists come to Belize, it's together, it's already sold. Many times they come here and they might waste an entire day just doing the research of where they need to go. So we need to work together more with these tour guides. Belize has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
So we just need to get together and look at the technology. What are these people buying? What are they coming to do? And packaging together to sell them.
Nice.
Yeah, also too, our membership does not only comprise of the accommodations providers. You know, we have allied members who can join the Belize Hotel Association, and we have tour operators as well. So as Ted has mentioned, that we do have some there. So it's just a way for us to see now how we can sustain the growth for our members and offer package deals.
Yeah.
Can I ask this as well? In terms of the hotel packaging system, it has an international face, but that's a local soul. What does the Hotel Association do in terms of addressing the staycationers, the Belizeans who are at home, and what strategies used towards us that are right here at home?
In my case, for example, we have a Belizean rate. We love Belizeans to come and use our facility because you guys are the ambassadors. Yes, when you go and visit your family in the US and they're coming to visit you,
have got a bit more
and they'll ask you where to stay. Yeah.
I say I don't have to do the advertisement. You're just Kevin. I didn't pay him to do the. That was a free advertisement. You know. So when you go to stay at the Nirvana in Placencia, or you go to Burrell Boom and stay at the Black Orchid, and you can hear those baboons calling your name. Yes. It just creates that when your families come, I'm sure you got to stay in this place, you got to stay in this place, this is the area where you should go. So we do encourage our Belizean people to go. I'm sure all our hotels, our members have a Belizean rate that they can use. And I encourage it.
And it's just about asking for it. I think people don't know. You just ask the hotel, what's your Belizean rate?
Our website also has a platform
have.
for specials that we offer. So our members have a login to the website, and they put all their specials that they're having throughout the year. So it's a good place to go to see what it is that we have to offer here in our own country and make use of the specials that they have.
All right.
Also, just to add, sorry, Marlene, to cut you, we do have 17 exhibitors at the conference tomorrow. They're local allied business guys. So we have the foam factory that's going to have a mattress that you can go and try. You can touch and see that. It's going to be there. We have DFC who's going to be there. They have so much money they need to give away for
because they have that green loan.
We have eData who has a human resource component that can solve all your problems with your human resource in payments and taxes. They will be there. So we have all these companies who are going to be exhibiting and doing business at the trade show as well.
All right. So the event, the AGM, is open to members and non-members,
That's correct.
right?
Yes.
And so how does one register to participate?
We are call the Hotel Association at this moment to register because the event starts at 8 to 12. We have all these speakers, but it does include lunch. So the registration fee that we're charging is actually just to pay for the lunch. We didn't want to say that, but just to pay for the lunch.
$35.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we have
for
invested.
the full day and the.
That's correct.
Okay.
We have invested a lot. We're bringing Mr. Raphael all the way from Barbados.
Yeah.
To come and motivate us. Yeah. We're having Vivian coming from the U.S., Melissa coming from Guatemala. We have another young lady coming from Guatemala. She manages 5 hotels in terms of revenue management in Guatemala City. So you have the Westin, the Holiday Inn, the Camino Real, Antigua. So she has been doing this area, and that has specialties, managing the revenue for 5 hotels.
Yeah.
So she's also coming, we're flying her
Have
in.
we said where it's going to be? Where the agent meeting?
It's going to be at the Biltmore.
Yeah.
It starts from 8 to 12 is the actual speakers. From 1 to 5 is the AGM. And we from 5 to 7, we have a small cocktail where you get to interact with the displays that are there.
All right. And it all takes place tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's correct.
Well, thank you for coming in and giving us this update, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for the opportunity.
All right.
Thank
We're
you.
going to go ahead and take that final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.